Good evening, everyone. This is Bill Breeden. Thank you for joining me tonight for Constellation Tour number 86. Tonight we're going to talk about Pavo, the Peacock, which is a southern celestial polar constellation and is relatively obscure, and there aren't many guideposts to it. So it's going to be fun to walk you through finding it when I'm not real comfortable with it myself. But with the aid of a good star chart, it should be something that's doable. So we have Stellarium here set up for a 60-degree field of view from moderately light polluted skies in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And Pavo is a circumpolar constellation, so it is visible all year from points south. So we have Stellarium set up for September the 2nd of 2022 at about 9 p.m. So as is normal for finding constellations near the South Celestial Pole, we're going to start by finding the Southern Cross and Alpha and Beta Centauri. So we're looking due south, and in September, Crux is going to be over here in the southwest, and Alpha and Beta Centauri will also be in that area. So to find the pole, draw a line from the Southern Cross, an imaginary line, and then draw another one from between Alpha and Beta Centauri until you come to a point in the sky where the lines would intersect, which is about here. Now, how to go about finding Pavo? Okay, it's a little tricky. So if you imagine that all of these constellations that are going around the South Celestial Pole are the numbers on a clock, and if you imagine that the Southern Cross is noon on that clock, and Alpha and Beta Centauri are about 11, Pavo is at around the 9 o'clock position. So you'll see that our clock has rotated clockwise a little bit from that, but setting up Crux in your mind as noon on our big celestial clock will help you then find Pavo, which would be at about 9 o'clock, no matter what time of year it is. So here in September, Crux is over here in the southwest. So if that's noon, 11, 10, 9 would be about here. So look in the 9 o'clock region for a moderately bright star, kind of off by itself, and that would be Peacock or Alpha Pavonis. And that's really the only thing in Pavo that stands out. Now, Peacock is a double star. It's magnitude 2, located about 180 light years from Earth. So let's have a look at our constellation lines. And let's look at our celestial clock here. Here's the Southern Cross. Draw a line. Here's Alpha and Beta Centauri. Draw another line. And you come to the polar region here. And this is your 12 o'clock position. This is your 3. This is your 6. And this is your 9, right where Pavo is. There's really no other easy way to find it. There are no really bright stars to guide you to it. Even the alpha star Peacock is not all that bright. It's second magnitude. It's probably just a little bit brighter than the North Star Polaris for us Northern Hemisphere dwellers. So it doesn't really stand out. So let's have a look at the mythical figures. And you can see Pavo is depicted as a peacock, with the eye of the peacock named after the bird, peacock or Alpha pavonus. Okay, let's turn our attention to peacock or Alpha pavonus, since it is a double star, and see if Stellarium shows it that way. Here's a view of Alpha pavonus through the finder, and you can see there's a couple of companion stars here next to it. And through a 24 millimeter eyepiece, 19 millimeter, 13 millimeter, and through a 9 millimeter eyepiece. Nice view here. Alpha pavonus itself is kind of a bluish color, and then you have these two extra stars over here on the side. I really like this view. So let's see if Alpha splits manually. No, it doesn't, unless they're considering one of these part of Alpha. Nope. Nope. So it doesn't split here in Stellarium, at least not easily. Nope. Okay, that's all right. Okay, let's take a look at the part of the sky that Pavo occupies. Now let's get our bearings here. Looking due south from the southern hemisphere, you got the Southern Cross here, or crux. You have Alpha and Beta Centauri, and here you have the South Celestial Pole right here within octans, and then up here you have Pavo the Peacock, with the Alpha star right up here on the border, almost across the border next to Telescopium. I still did like the view of Alpha pavonus through a telescope. That did look really nice. So let's see what some of these other stars here that we have. We have Beta pavonus. We have Delta. We have Epsilon. We have Zeta. And Eta. So none of these stars are really bright. They're mostly third and fourth magnitude. There's a fourth. Zeta's right at 4.0. So nothing really stands out here. So let's move on to a dark site. All right, can we find Pavo now? We're looking due south. Here's the Southern Cross, pointing to the South Celestial Pole. Pretend it's the 12 on the clock. 11, 10, 9. Pavo's going to be in this region. Look for a bright star. How about that one? And there we go, Peacock, Alpha pavonus. So from a dark site, that's probably the way I would search for the area of Pavo the Peacock. It's actually a pretty big constellation. Let's see if there's anything interesting to observe here. There's a double star, Xi pavonus. Let's use our go-to here. And this is showing as a double star in Stellarium here with a magnitude of 4.3, located 443 light years away. It's a nice view, nice part of the sky here. A lot of stars. You're looking through a lot of interstellar space here. And there is Xi pavonus through a 9 millimeter Delight eyepiece. Really nice contrast here, sort of Albireo-like. You've got a gold and blue double here. 440 light years from Earth. About the same distance as the Pleiades, I believe. Go back to our naked eye view. Are we lost in the stars yet? Yeah, this looks like Peacock right here. Let's see. Here's Crux. Here's Alpha and Beta Centauri. So this would be the region we're looking for. So here is Peacock. It's really our only anchor in that part of the sky. There is a globular cluster within Pavo, and that is NGC 6752. Listed here as the Pavo globular cluster, or the starfish. It's also cataloged as a Caldwell object, Caldwell 93, shining at 6th magnitude, located 13,000 light years from Earth. So our view through the finder reveals a spectacular globular cluster. I would guess that if you lived in the southern hemisphere, that anytime your telescope was pointed at Pavo, it's probably pointed here, the Pavo globular cluster. It's probably one of the things that Pavo is known for. My guess, I've never been there, but I'm guessing that amateurs in the southern hemisphere refer to the Pavo globular cluster quite a bit. Sort of like up north where we say we're going to observe the Orion Nebula. It's just when you're pointed toward Orion, you're probably looking at the nebula. So the Pavo globular cluster. Let's have a look through an eyepiece. Oh boy, let's back off the power a little bit. Wow, okay. Mind blown. That is gorgeous. The Pavo globular cluster as observed with a 13 millimeter Televue Nagler eyepiece. Wow, a few moments of silence. "13,000 light years from Earth." It's listed here as 20 arc minutes in diameter, which is 1/3 of a degree, which is approaching the size of a full moon. Wow, how about even less power? A 19 millimeter panoptic. Now you begin to see Stellarium's image overlay at that magnification. I actually preferred the view through the 13. It was a little more realistic. Wow, I am amazed by that. It's probably one of the prettiest globulars I've ever seen. And for this to be circumpolar for our southern hemisphere friends, it's in the sky all the time for them. This has got to be a regular go-to object. It really does. Wow. Let's get our bearings here and see where we are. So here's Peacock, or Alpha Pavonis. Here's the Southern Cross. This is a naked eye view of the sky here with the constellation outlines overlaid. So here's Crux, the Southern Cross. Here's Alpha and Beta Centauri. Here's the region of the south, the southern pole. And you go in this region for Pavo. Here's Peacock. So it'd really be tough to star hop to. If you were using a Dobsonian, you'd have to be pretty familiar with the southern sky. I would imagine you could star hop from these stars here within Pavo, possibly coming off the Triangulum Austral here. Not sure how I would do it. That is a spectacular globular. Oops. Refer to it as C93. Yeah, I would observe that the way I observe M13 up north. Wow. Okay, let's see if there's anything else interesting in Pavo. I don't have anything else on my printout here. So let's use Stellarium as a star chart. Let's turn on our boundaries. Zoom in a bit. And let's turn on our star names and turn on our labels and markers for deep sky objects. That's a little too many. Make it overwhelming. There we go. How about that? Okay, that's manageable. Here's the Pavo globular cluster that we just admired. Got a couple more objects here. Any as I would say at an actual star party, any requests? Oh, you over there. Okay. NGC 6684? Sure. We'll punch that in. Now notice when you zoom in with Stellarium, you start populating more labels and markers, which is why when I'm in observing mode, I turn that off. I only use that when I'm using Stellarium as a star chart, which we're sort of doing right now. So NGC 6684 is plotted, but it is not imaged within Stellarium. This is a galaxy of 10th magnitude, located 41 million light years from Earth. Okay, that's kind of back where we were. All right, any other requests? Oh, NGC 6744, sure. That's Caldwell 101, a galaxy of 8th magnitude, located 36 million light years away. And it looks like we're in luck. There's going to be an image of it within Stellarium. So here's the view through a 6-degree true field of view finder scope or binoculars. And here's the view of NGC 6744 through a 13mm Nagler eyepiece. Wow. Wow. This is a pretty impressive object. This is a pretty impressive constellation. I didn't know what to expect from Pavo, but I'm actually pretty blown away. This is a galaxy 36 million light years away. So this is closer to us than the Virgo cluster. Those galaxies are, what, 50, 55, 60 million light years away? Wow. Okay, let's take Stellarium out of star chart mode. Just uncheck that and uncheck labels. Turn off all the labels. Return it to a naked eye view. And we are back in planetarium mode. So that about wraps up my constellation tour of Pavo the Peacock tonight. I really appreciate you joining me here tonight. Good night and good seeing.